Got that ready. Open up gestures. What do I have on 3 fingers? I think I have something on 3 fingers. Tab, 3 fingers. Show desktop. Okay. So, oh. I'll try it later. Oh no! Don't do that. There we go. Oh yeah, I guess I should. All right, wasn't gone long. Damn, her hair is luxurious. Okay. Maybe I'm just saying that because her hair is really long. Or she could be really short. Alright. Oh, wrong one. Well, let's see if Stacey does go for it. I guess I'll play some intro music first. Don't need to put in this just yet. I don't think they do either party. Well, Carson, come on up. Alright. It says disagree, guest request. Welcome to come up and say your piece. Oh, and then he left? Okay. I think TikTok's just turned into a lot of keyboard warriors, honestly. It's like, nah, show your face. Lend us your voice. Oh, ye countrymen. Alright, hello, okay. Hello, Cam, with a K. Hello, me. Hello, Harry. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Marlon Fox. Hello, Jake. Hello, Robbie Pumpkin. Love that. Hello, Homer Troy. Hello, I. Hello, Freddie. Hello, Sam. Hello, Curious One. Hello, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, Texas Spark. Okay. Hello, Design. Or Designated. Hello, Majorly. Hello, Sky. Um, hello, Zach. Hello, Robert, with a lot of T's. Hello, Rawchild. I know that is a last name. When are you going to take personal responsibility? Sean, come up. Oh, you can't even come up to the back row. Hello, Jeep Safira. Hello, Sapper. Hello, Mars. Hello, Willie. Hello, Mini Punk. Hey, Mini Punk. Hello, Ghost Man. Thank you for the follow, Mini Punk. Hello, Turf. Hello, Les. How you doing? Hello, Himimoko. Cute name. Hello, Dan. Ducky Go-Go. Okay. Who rather follow this page? I'm sorry, you're good. So, I can't hear you. You have bad connection.
You know, it's funny. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, you're having a really bad connection. We'll try some other time. Yeah, he was breaking up. Hey, City. Hello, Nugget. It literally came up on my For You page. Love that. How you doing? They are not new science. What the fuck? I don't know if that's a word. This is true. Yeah. Hello, Angel Fan Gaming. Thank you. But I'm agreeing on my For You page too. Right on. But you were breaking up really bad. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. Hello, Gene. It's always great to see you, Mini Punk. There's a lot of people that aren't really going live these days because we're getting closer to the bulk of the holidays. Hello, Barry. Hello, Alan. Driving, so I get it. Right on. Oh, you also can't be up here driving either. That is a safety hazard. And TikTok will ping us if they detect somebody driving. But TikTok seems to be kind of back and forth on that too. Hello, Manly Tatas. Hello, Crying Me Time. Their TikTok did go through a little era of being really strict about people driving during live streams. Hello, Savage. Hello, Samantha. I was pulled over. Oh, okay. Hello, Seven. Hello, Squid. Hello, Eddie. It's like you can be on the road, but you can't be driving. It's like, what? Hello, John. Hello, Al. Thank y'all so much for the likes. Hello, Bachman. Hello, Beef. Hello, August. Hello, Meme Cheeks. Hello, Gary. Yeah, that was the Man is Trash 2 bandana era. If you get it. No, I don't. Thank you for the roses, Mini Punk. Hello, Tracy. Hello, True Love. There are a lot of sides of TikTok that I am not on that people probably assume I'm on. Oh, thank you for the share, Mini Punk. Y'all please do share the live. Thank you. Hello, Born. Hello, Tyler. Hello, Zach. Hello, Ignoring House. Might get you strikes. Okay. Hello, Sherry. Hello, God. Hello, Big Block. Hello, Paula. You can come back whenever you're in a good spot, but your connection was really messed up. Hello, Casey. I also didn't vote. No one asked. All good. I will. Right on. Thank you for sharing live. Hello, Ida. Scroll up in my comments. Your first comment must have been blocked because you don't have a comment before that on my thing. Why do you think that? Mark, come up. Hey, no all caps. All caps for mods only. There's nothing that you're saying that's important that you need to type all caps in my chat, bro. Hello, James Johnson. Hello, Chucker. Hello, Wolf. Hello, Rosa. Mark, you can come up. Let's have a discussion. Hello, Fizzletop. Hello, Maleficent. Hello, Bobby Eugene. Hello, Phantom. Hello, Avia. Hello, AP. Hello, Will Zing. Hello, Yvette. Hello, the Bearded Greeter. Michael, also. Hello, Dead. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Thor. Thor and Maddie. Like it. Hello, Larry. Hello, Steven. Hello, Told. Hello, Ed. Hello, Mind. Hello, Uninown. Hello, C. Hello, Douglas. Hello, David. How you doing, Douglas? Hello, Moms. Hello, Scott Townsend. Hello, Dennis. Hello, Jones. Thank you so much for the likes. Hello, Mr. Dan. Hello, Jay. Welcome back, Jay. Hey, I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. Hello, Gabby. Thank you for the follow, Anxious. Hey, Neuro Vapor. Shit. I corrected myself, got it wrong, and then corrected myself. Neuro Vapor, hello. Hello, Ricky Tricky. Hello, 1214. Hello, 10. Hello, Vincent. Remember saying Kamala would win? Yeah, we all thought she would win, and then she fucking lost devastatingly. The first Democrat to not win the fucking popular vote in 25 years. And I'm like, well, shit. Jaden.
Ah! Hello?
Hi. How old are you?
19. How old are you?
Oh, the guest box is plus 23 today. Anyway. Respect, that's a funny answer. I don't know if there's anything funny about, like, her being the first Democrat to lose the popular vote in fucking 25 years. I'm tinfoil hat, I guess, but he cheated. I honestly don't go either way with that. There are some people that are asking for a recount or some shit. I'm just like, all right, whatever. Just let it go. Hello, Halloween. Hello, Scott. If they get the recount, cool. If they don't, cool. Hello, Ethan. Worse in Blue Cities. Come up. Let's have a discussion. Solid data on it, but not worth the boogaloo. They never gave her a W. Oh, you lost me at that America First rhetoric, dog. You gotta get out of here. We don't do fascism. She never separated herself from Joe Biden on anything.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. I have a heart for this issue. And I live in California in the Bay Area. And the other day, I heard that the current administration took like $30 billion that was allocated for the homeless in California, and they're saying they don't know what happened to the money. Did you hear about that?
I heard a little bit about that, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, so this has been going on for a while, and like the homeless population has actually increased, and that's unimaginable. That $30 billion, can you imagine? That could have helped so many people.
It only takes 20 billion, like what is it, $27 billion to resolve homelessness. Like the whole country, mind you. Like
I mean, it's so disgusting to me. I just like, and then for them not to be accountable for the money, it just so corrupt, and it's disgusting because no human being should ever be homeless. I mean, they have so many vacant, like huge buildings that people don't even use anymore in San Francisco that could be turned into apartments for homeless people. And just for them not to be able to figure that out and to take that much money, I mean, we need to help.
Hang on a second. Christian, don't unmute until it's your turn. Right now, Chris is talking. Go ahead, Chris.
Anyway, I just heard that, and I just want to say, I just think that's horrible. And I just think there should be, I think there's so many things that people could do that, just like I said, these buildings they used to use for corporations that no longer use them, they're just sitting there rotting. People could, they could use that money to go in there and make apartments for people, because I think there's some people that just can't work for whatever reason there is, and they're human beings and they need to be taken care of, because this is a rich country. And if we can take care of people from other countries and other countries, we need to take care and help our own people. And it just saddens me. I just feel so horrible when I see people having to live like that. And that's all I have to say. So God bless you for bringing awareness to this. And I don't think it's a Democrat or Republican issue. It's just an issue that needs to be, and for them to take the money, can you imagine $30 billion not being missing?
Yeah, being unaccounted for. I'll add you as a mod, B. So like, yeah, I can't imagine that money missing because I'm from Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And it is on one hand, it's not a Democrat and Republican issue, and I see where you're coming from. And on the other hand, with the way our society is modeled, it is a Democrat and Republican issue, because the Democrats are often framed as some sort of saviors, and they aren't. Like,
they're not.
Everybody hates homeless people regardless of political affiliation. Like, well, any political affiliation can hate homeless people and have anti-homeless laws and anti-homeless rhetoric. That's the point.
Yeah, well, of course, I've born and raised in the Bay Area, and so this is a Democrat. I mean, we're like, this is blue to the bone. I mean, this is, and we have the most homeless, and we have this government right now, like I just told you, that claims, and this was on the news yesterday, that claims that they don't know what happened to the money. And just like I said, I don't think it's a Democrat or Republican issue I just think something needs to be done. And I don't want to keep repeating myself, but anyway, I just saw this and I just agree. I just think something needs to happen for people.
For sure.
Okay. Well, God bless you. You have a good day.
Same you.
Thank you.
All right. For sure. Bye. All right. Christian, you can go ahead. You can unmute.
How you doing today?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. I just got off work.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, see, I work at a place that has to deal with a lot of homeless people, and I tried to help them out in the beginning, and I honestly do not like them.
I'm gonna stop you right there. When you say deal with, why do you use that language?
Because they're usually bothering. I work at a gas station. They're usually bothering my customers, asking for change, asking for food, and people that are coming to pump gas don't want to be asked that.
When you say bothering, so like people asking to get their needs met is somehow bothering people. Or does anybody seem does any reasonable person seem threatened by somebody just asking them for change or food?
See, a lot of them get aggressive though when you say no. That's the problem.
So you're saying that every person that comes through is being
I would say 90%.
Okay, so if 90% of them are aggressive, what do you think is happening to make them aggressive?
Well, nothing, because literally I had one start yelling at a mother and her child because she said no or whatever. I'm just trying to get some food for my daughter or whatever. And get out, and so this dude is literally screaming at her.
People, but yet you've labeled them as aggressive.
Well, when somebody's screaming at somebody that has a 3-year-old and waving his hands and arms, when literally I can run back the cameras with audio and see that she was acting completely fine and didn't say anything to upset him or nothing, it's pretty bad.
Well, it's not that. I'm not assuming that she did anything. I'm just saying, have you gotten to know any of these people? Because it
Oh
sounds
yes,
like
I've
this is an
tried to
ongoing
help them
issue.
out. Like I said, I've tried to help them
So,
out,
so
and
what
it's
did you do to try
almost
to help
like
them?
it's huh?
What did you do to try to help them?
I mean, I told him, I was like, yo, you don't have to ask these people. You don't have to steal from me. Just come up, tell me you're hungry, and I'll help you out. You don't really. I'll deal with you. I'll help you. Don't bother my customers.
Again, you use that language, deal with, and also you work at a gas station. Do you like people that work at gas stations? I also say this as a former cashier. I don't know any position of a cashier alone, especially working at a gas station, because like at gas stations y'all deal with a lot. That it really trains people to be able to interact with all the different walks of life that we might see.
Oh yeah, nothing bothers me now.
And yet you're here talking about this as though it bothers you, correct?
Oh, they do. I mean, they bother
And
me.
actually,
Yeah, they're
Christian,
hurting my business.
what you're saying actually has nothing to do with the topic. You realize that, right?
Oh no, I agree with it.
Okay, so would you like to talk about the topic instead of trying to demonize interpersonal issues? Because you don't know the people that you're talking about. They could have a
Well,
wide
they're all
range of
addicts
problems.
mostly.
I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
what?
they're all addicts mostly. One OD'd
How
my
do you
bathroom
know?
4 times because they've
Wait,
OD'd my
hang on.
bathroom. I've had to give them Narcan.
So you having to give somebody needing Narcan justifies you labeling them as mostly addicts?
I didn't know somebody that I've had to give Narcan to 4 times wouldn't be considered an addict.
So one person that you gave Narcan to justifies you labeling most
I've
of
caught
them.
multiple people shooting up in the bathroom.
Okay, you still don't know if most of them are addicts. That's those.
Why are you
people
shooting
that-
up in my bathroom in the first place? It doesn't matter. You're an addict whether no, get the
Well,
hell
no,
out.
that's not.
I don't want some
said,
kid
Christian,
to have to walk in and
Christian, stop. You said most of them are addicts, and then you said you caught a few people shooting up in the bathroom, and you had to give one person Narcan 4 times. That's
Yes.
not that don't add up.
well, I mean, there's about 6 or 7 homeless people that hang around there. I can't believe they're still alive, honestly. I
Okay,
wish they would.
so 6 or 7, but you said most of them are addicts, even though you know that there are more than 6 or 7 homeless people in your community, but you're going to say that most of them are addicts.
Because they are. What do you think they're
How do
homeless?
you know? So how do you know
Because
that
they've
based
told
off
me,
of 6
half
or
of
7
them,
people?
most of them have told me, I've actually been addicted to
Yeah, but
heroin for 10 years.
okay, stop talking. How do you know that based off of the 6 or 7 people that you interact with on a regular basis, as you said by yourself? So so that's 6 or 7 people. Like honestly, in my homeless experience, those are usually the kinds of people that hang out at the gas station. Honestly, meanwhile, there is a whole other fucking population of homeless people in your area that you never interact with. Probably aren't even on your side of town, but you want to say most of the population is drug addicts because of these few 6 or 7 people that you deal with. What's up with that?
I mean, it's pretty
Why do you
obvious
feel comfortable
to
saying
spot
that?
a drug addict.
Why do you feel
It's
comfortable
pretty.
saying that?
What do
I'm
I feel
asking you-
comfortable?
I'm asking you
Because
a
I
direct
hate homeless
question.
now. Literally, the
Christian.
job has made me hate homeless people.
Christian, shut up. I'm asking you a direct
You'll
question.
get mad when I.
Hey, this is my life, buddy. You don't have power here. I'm asking you a direct question. Why do you feel comfortable saying that most of the homeless population overall is drug addicts when you only deal with the same consistent 6 or 7 people?
Oh, that's just at one store. I work at, I would say, 40 different stores, and
Okay.
every one I go to, they're bothering people. They're getting aggressive. They're
Okay.
not being nice.
And
to
you
these
do
people.
realize that is the population that specifically hangs out at gas stations. Not all of us do that. You know that, right?
Yeah, I think mostly everyone goes to a gas station.
I'm saying specifically the homeless, the unhoused population that does hang out at the gas station specifically, because I don't, none of my friends did. But there
Well, your
are
homeless friends?
specific people with specific types of things that hang out at a gas station. But you feel comfortable saying that when like first of all, you said that you work at 40 stores, which is kind of weird. But without asking too many personal questions, because I'm not trying to dox you. What state are you in?
South Carolina.
Oh shit. Okay. Um.
Why, you live there too?
No, I live in Minnesota and I'm from Louisiana. But I am familiar with some of the economic discrepancies that go on, specifically in South Carolina. You could have said you probably could have said any other state and it would have been fine. So let's see what we got. Homeless statistics in South Carolina.
You can do Anderson. I'll tell you where I even live. Anderson, South Carolina. I ain't scared.
Since
It's a big
2024.
county.
All right, well, let's do homelessness in Anderson, South Carolina then. See what we get. Anderson, South Carolina. And let's also look up the population.
I want to say it's like 50,000 in the county. Could be wrong.
Well, it's not about the county. It's more about the city. Are you saying that you're in Anderson County? Or are you saying that you're in Anderson City? Town?
I'll say I'm in Anderson. It's the same thing. Anderson County, and then there's a city called Anderson that's Anderson County. Like.
Oh, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. So let's see what this Oh, you're like in. This place isn't particularly popular, huh?
Oh no, the crime rate's pretty bad.
How the
I think
fuck
per
was
capita,
that the answer to my question? I asked you it's not populated, and you said something about crime?
I mean, yeah, do people want to live in a high crime area?
What the fuck?
I mean, we got a big city. I wouldn't call it a
Christian,
big city.
let me ask you the next question is this place mostly white?
Oh, hell no. It's pretty much mixed, I would say. I mean, half my school was, black, I would say.
Half your school was black?
If not more.
Of course you can't turn on your camera. Anyway. So,
Well, I'll tell you I'm white. I mean, if you want to know. if you're trying to hint at that.
So the census said that your place is actually 58% white, non-Hispanic, and only 29% and only 29% black, and then 0.17 Native, 1.48 Asian, 0.02 Pacific Islander, 4.3 mixed, and then Hispanic or Latino 6.2. So you're fucking lying.
I mean, I guess. You said 58% was white, so I mean that would be.
I asked you, is the place mostly white, and the answer is yes, so you fucking lied.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know the racial background of my city. Statistically.
So it's white. So it's mainly white people committing the crimes because the place is mostly white.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Glad we got over that.
Point?
So,
what was the point?
Man, it just sounds like white on white violence to me. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, good luck with that.
Chat's funny.
Well, you can read the chat in the chat. Hello, Casey Mia. Thank you so much for waiting patiently. How are you doing?
Of course. That was a interesting conversation.
Yeah. It was about as interesting as it was going to get.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly he was angry at a population, not angry with the situation, which I think is what you're doing here. You're angry at a situation, not at people. And I agree with you. Democrats, Republicans, they all hate homeless people. Anybody with money hates homeless people. When I say anybody with money, I do not mean people that have resources that help out and all that. What I mean is people groups hate homeless people. They're to people who are more affluent. They are nuisances. They are annoying, just as Christian kind of proved. I think it's very, very evil and disingenuous to group homeless people into a certain archetype, just like any people group. People are people, regardless of economic status. We're all people.
Right.
And yes, and statistically, yes, it is true that homeless people have more propensity to mental illness, and that's probably why they don't have jobs and probably why they're overlooked in society. So I personally believe that public housing should be a basic human right in the United States of America. I don't see why we are so averse to offering free housing to people who need it. I get it. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of resources. It's a challenge. But how many homeless people purposefully get arrested just so they have a place to spend the night and have a meal? You know, and I'm not talking about federal crimes. I'm talking about just petty theft, just so they don't have to sleep on the street at night. And it's heartbreaking. And if you think about those tax dollars that are spent there, you could reallocate it into much better ways to help people. So I agree with you.
Oh yeah. I really want to point out what you said at first. He's like, a lot of people are more angry at the group of people having this experience rather than the situation that got us into this experience, because it's not just about, a lot of people want to put the emphasis on drugs and alcohol and mental illness because those are the stereotypes. Those are the things that TV and movies taught you to care about. But when it comes to people's realities, a lot of people are becoming homeless due to medical debt, especially elderly people.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are becoming homeless due to rent going up. A lot of these landlords want to turn their properties into Airbnb, so they raise the rent more than the current tenants can pay. A lot of people are going homeless due to family members dying. We saw a lot of that with COVID. Of all of the real reasons why people become homeless, they focus on a lot of what happens after people become homeless. Like people are more likely to become mentally ill and use substances after they become homeless. Because I can tell you, as somebody who's been homeless for a long time, becoming homeless and being homeless for a long time is traumatizing. And a lot of people really downplay that, and nobody becomes homeless because of drugs and alcohol. Most people start using drugs and alcohol after they become homeless. And also, you don't care about drugs and alcohol. You care about being able to take away people's agency. You don't, if you cared about drugs and alcohol, you would care about Hunter Biden and Trump Jr. constantly having white powder under their nose. You don't care about that because they're housed. Also, they're high-class white men, not necessarily rich, but high-class white men, depending on what metric of rich you want to use, because bankruptcies, etc.
Well, I think I don't think it's a race thing. I think it's a class thing, because let's look at what Oprah did with Maui and all the victims in Maui and how she exploited them. Sorry, go ahead.
It is kind of a race thing, because whereas we understand that it's more white people who are homeless because this is a mostly white population.
How you doing?
Black and native homeless people are severely underrepresented in the population, intentionally.
Yeah, I hear you there, and the reason why.
Kai, stop. I'm sorry, Mia, stop. Payne and RJB, y'all can unmute when it's your turn to talk. Thank you, Marty.
Okay, so the reason why I say it's a class thing, and I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but what a lot of white people don't know, and maybe it's because of good marketing, but what a lot of white people don't know is that white people are the most impoverished people in America, and they are the ones who utilize the most government resources. And a lot of white people have no clue to that true statistic.
Yeah, and it's because it's marketed as black and brown people using a lot of public resources, whereas it is mostly rural white folks on public assistance.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I think I've taken up my turn. I appreciate it, but this is good awareness. Appreciate you.
You're good. You take care now. All right, RBJ left, so Payne, you can go ahead. And D, you can mute until it's your turn.
I'm gonna be openly honest. I can never own an apartment. I can never own a house unless I have the money to do so. I'm currently staying with my husband. I do not have a job due to the fact that I do not have an address. I'm also going to say one word. I'm on the registry list.
Okay, so nobody asked for all that. That was really weird. Uh, I don't know if you're homeless if you're living with your husband. And like, yeah, like there are a lot of restrictions to housing. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I feel like you're trauma dumping rather than trying to engage with the topic. So we're gonna go on to D. Thank you. I love it when the trash takes itself out. D, go ahead.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
How you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I honestly just jumped on and I was listening to that last guy mention, and he was kind of speaking for the general white people. So I was just trying to cancel that out and let you know that I can see it the same way. Where I believe a lot of people do know that white people use the most resources from welfare, but he's getting it mixed up with percentages. A lot of them bring out percentages to show that it's allocated higher for non-white, and I think that's what he was getting confused with. But I don't believe Democrats and Republicans hate homeless people. I think most people believe that there is a mental health care issue that we've had for years, and it's looked down upon like way too much. It's very rarely a topic until something happens with a gun, and it should be a topic every day of the week, and it's not. And that's the sad part.
Okay, D, I tell you what. So, I don't know anything about funds being allocated, and even if those funds are allocated, they still go to white people, but mainly rural white people. And the second point that I want to bring up is that, hey, Pomo, what's up? The second point that I want to bring up is we actually talk about mental health a lot. You are correct that we mostly talk about mental health when it comes to guns, but like at this point, mental health is a scapegoat that politicians use to not handle an issue because they want to act like it's so far out of their realm rather than being like, all right, well, let's put more money into mental health services and stuff like that. And it can't just be about mental health, it's the things linked to it. A lot of mental health issues come from people's like the insecurity of their basic needs. Like mental health issues can come from hunger. Mental health issues can come from homelessness. Mental health issues can come from a lack of other medical needs. Having to worry about how to get your needs met, being in perpetual poverty, also causes trauma, which is also a mental health issue. So now that we've put it out there that mental health is a scapegoat for politicians, and we both know that Republicans and Democrats both do that shit, how do you think that Democrats and Republicans don't actively hate homeless people?
Oh, because I guess when I speak on behalf of, I guess, Democrats and Republican, I'm speaking on behalf of the majority, and sadly, the majority I don't think get any shine because we are just kind of not trying to embellish our life into anyone else's. Most people are kind to others, and a lot of times when you hear people talking loud, it's because they're missing that part. Other times you do see people doing it for the right reasons, which is great. But I feel like the majority on both sides, if I'm going to say in a general term, do care. But for people that have the ability to do it, they fail multiple times. Like we've seen, I came from California, and it was one of the biggest things that that Newsom ran on was about helping homeless, and it only got worse. So it just doesn't seem like it's either side. I don't see them fixing it.
Okay,
and I
so
do
I'm
agree with
gonna
you about the
hang
all the
on just a
issues.
second, okay? So for the chat, my pronouns are he, him. That is on the intro message when you come in, and it's right here on the screen. If you're illiterate, that's a you problem. Now to get back to what you were saying, D. I'll just make you a mod. Hang on a second. I'm handling a mod issue right now. There you go.
Another thing too, you mentioned with food, like lack of food, hunger causes a mental issue. I also feel like the ability when they do get food is the processed food that they get because it's so cheap is also bad on our genetics and our mental ability too. So even when we are getting satiated, it's with really bad, crappy food. that can affect you too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We agree on that.
No substance.
The it's like, but it's the politicians who have the power to change that, is where I'm coming from.
True.
Like, if Democrats and Republicans don't hate homeless people, then there shouldn't be any. They should be doing what it takes to prevent homelessness. And this isn't just about housing people after they become homeless. This is also about putting money into programs to prevent homelessness, like rent assistance.
I think it's something you and me can definitely agree upon. And until money is stopped being used as freedom of speech or for freedom of speech, that's why a lot of millionaires allowed to put so much towards lobbyists, is because it's considered a part of freedom of speech, or free, whatever you want to call it, putting your money where where your mouth is. That's like one of the biggest issues, because politicians are going to go where they're paid to do, and feeding the homeless or even protecting anybody from becoming homeless prior to it is not where you make money from.
I agree. Yeah, we agree with that.
So until you can fix the 90% of the money that's pushing them to go a certain way, they'll never see that 10% of what they should care about, and maybe what they did care about when they started. I believe most people, at least I want to believe, they got into it, for the right reasons, but then they stopped living, normal lives in that field, especially when they're just pushed by, I don't know how many calls a day they get or how many meetings they have to do, but they can pretty much forget, our life that we deal with.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, if there's no money in helping homeless people, and it's like APAC doesn't care about homeless people, CPAP
100%.
doesn't care about homeless people.
Not
like
once.
the people who are trying to move their tech companies into the upper class neighborhood, they don't care about homeless people. Like, so yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's why I say that Democrats and Republicans don't care about homeless people, because this is the two-party system. The places, usually there are a few places, but usually places are run by Democrats or Republicans, and neither of them are putting more money into things to prevent homelessness or things to get people out of homelessness. Therefore, they hate homeless people. It's like the average person, like people who give money to homeless people who volunteer at the food kitchen, stuff like that, of course. But Democrats and Republicans on a political scale in which they have power, yeah, they fucking hate homeless people.
Yeah. Did you hear? It was a couple of days ago, because I know since Trump's been getting his presidency rolling or whatever, he's been coming out with speeches every other day, and he mentioned what he's going to do for homeless and allocate money their way, and get them into tent cities, which kind of scares me, because I'm always thinking like the future, all those movies that come out, it's like all the poor are caged basically in one area, and that kind of scares me. But I still have hope that there's a chance for to do better, and that we could see better. And I wish there's a way I could hold him to what he's saying, because what he mentioned in that, I don't know if you heard the speech at all, but he was gonna try to do something about it more than maybe we've seen in the past.
I mean, people weren't really talking about homelessness before this until like maybe the 50s. So like the fact that they even mentioned homelessness is surprising, and I doubt Kamala Harris would have mentioned homelessness if Donald Trump didn't. But Courtney, mute until it's your turn, babe. This is, thank you also someone for muting. This hostile architecture, yes. This is also like, I didn't hear the speech, so I can't say that much about it. I will say that I don't trust Republican nor Democrat on whatever their idea for this is, other than, hey, stop fucking with homeless people. Stop making it socially acceptable to kick people while they're down. Yeah. And just let people fucking be.
I'll sign off, because I'll let you do what you're doing, but I will mention too that part of it was he was going to take the money from foreign wars, which is nice thing to hear, because it didn't seem like that was being de-escalated at all in the last few years with all these wars coming. We're still aiding them, and then I still see issues of food getting to Gaza and stuff like that. So obviously we're not aiding correctly, but supposedly he's going to be using that money that's going there for the homeless problem, which I would love to see that. You know, if that ends up being true, that would be like one of a huge difference that we haven't seen in years.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you.
And
I'm
we
gonna
do,
go ahead.
we do have an independent, you know, we do have RFK. And I would have, if there was a chance that RFK could win over Trump, and, you know, since Bernie, we haven't really had anyone that even had a chance. And hopefully that will be a significance in his party.
Yeah, well, in terms of RFK, I'm neither here nor there nor
He's not perfect.
either,
I'm not saying that.
I mean, the election is over, so I would rather just leave it at that, because this is something that's been happening. Like, this isn't even about, you know, this isn't about this most recent election. Hang on, Bonaparte. All right, but D, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go.
Yeah, it's good talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you too as well. Take care now.
Yep, take care.
Right on. So the next person go country, and I saw you. I saw what Pomo Apple said. Are you upset because you got muted in the chat?
No, I just don't understand why we have to care about homeless.
People experiencing homelessness?
Because at the end of the day, they're not valued. They
And
don't
why you think that
contribute.
is?
Do they contribute? They're broke. They don't work. They have no value.
So 60% of homeless people receive income, and 40% of that 60% are employed full time. So that's incorrect.
Okay. Good. So why can't they buy their own place or rent? It's not that hard.
Because rent is high. Where do you live?
Tennessee.
Let's see what the market rate housing for Tennessee is. I'll just put in Tennessee and see what we get.
For example, like I was homeless like for a couple of months, bought a trailer for $3,000.
We're not talking about you. Market rate for housing in Tennessee. Let's see what we get. Housing market rate trends, and I'm sure Tennessee is going to look different for everybody, because the largest, the most populated city is going to be different from like somewhere rural. Like rural Tennessee is not going to have the same prices. And I'm only vaguely familiar with Tennessee because Tennessee rarely comes up as a topic for fucking anything. There's the top 10 metro areas with the fastest growing sales price. Dixon, Maryville, Morristown, Shelbyville, Columbia, Tellico Village, Middle Village, Burtwood, Spring Hill, and SMYRNA. Are you familiar with any of those areas? You can unmute.
Yeah, I'm right outside of Morristown.
You're right. That's the third one.
Yeah.
So yeah, the housing prices are going up around there. We got the median sale price of 389,000. That's 3 zeros behind that.
Uh-huh.
And this comes from October 2024, this year.
Yep.
Number of homes sold in the 7,000s. Median days on market 58. Oh, that's okay. So, being somebody who lives in the third highest, fastest growing, with the prices going up the most. Oh, I guess we also have to look at the average income. Okay, hang on. And I'll look for the average income in let me scroll back up. The average income in Morris, since that's where you are.
Oh no, I'm not exactly there, but I'm around there.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But we're gonna look at the average income in Morris. Average. Oh, I have somebody dropped and then somebody okay. Oh, that's just somebody who couldn't stand to wait his turn. Also, thank y'all in the chat for sitting and rocking with me. And thank you to my mods for keeping the chat clean. Average income if I can tell. And let's see, bam. All right, there's the census, and then there's Morristown data, but that's a .io. But we'll look at it. Oh, here we go. City data, income, Morris. All right. That, Jesus Christ, who drew that? Is this the, yeah, this is the earnings map. Okay. So the pictures are taking their time loading. But, median household income in Morristown in 2020. Oh, this is 2022. Let me see if I can find something more recent. But if I can't, we'll just go off 2022. Non-family income. All right, and now I'm gonna look up how much do you need to afford a 1-bedroom apartment in Tennessee. Because we have to acknowledge that the cost of living everywhere is different. Oh, there's a calculator. Cool. Monthly income, monthly debt. Oh, this just gets into a whole bunch of other stuff that you need to do the individual research for. But if anybody wants to put that number that kept getting passed around in the chat, the number specifically is how much you need to be able to rent a 1-bedroom apartment in the United States. And it was directly in comparison to the federal minimum wage, which I think is $7.25. So if anybody wants to put that in the chat, I'd appreciate it. You need at least double or triple the rent to qualify for some places here in Texas. Yeah, facts.
But here's the thing with the federal minimum income, correct?
Federal minimum wage, not federal minimum income.
Right. Most places don't even go by that anymore. I know for a fact in Tennessee, where I live, no one does that.
All right. So how much is your minimum wage there then?
Huh? I was still $7.25, but no one does minimum wage. It's always $12, $13. Lowest I've ever seen it is $10.
Okay. Good. Is that enough to be able to afford an apartment? A 1-bedroom apartment?
I don't live in an apartment. I own my own place.
Okay, but I didn't ask you that. I asked you, is that enough to be able to afford a 1-bedroom apartment?
Yes. I know people who do it all the time. What?
How do you know? You don't live there.
I have friends who rent.
How do you know they're being honest? Why would they tell you?
I mean, they have a roof over their head.
Why are you asking your friends? If you have your own place, what I'm doing is catching you in your own discrepancies here.
It's not discrepancy.
Right? Why would you have that information if you have your own place? But you're not.
Right? Because it's a talking point. Because they tell me all the time, like, hey, how was it easy for you to own your own place? I was like, it's not that hard. I was like, what do you do? They're like, I rent. I was like, how much you do? And they tell me, and I'm like, okay, do you work? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, if you have a roof over your head and everything, then you're affording it.
No, that's not how that works. If you have to make sacrifices for your other basic needs, if you can afford rent but you can't afford food, you're not affording it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure my 300-pound friend Bray, I'm pretty sure he's eating just fine.
Okay, that's your one friend, your one 300-pound friend who's probably not even complaining about the cost of living in his place.
Exactly, because he can afford it, because it's easy. He doesn't make excuses.
What excuses do you think people are making?
Oh, look at me.
Do you know any homeless people, or do you just know what
look at me. I have mental health. Oh, no, everything's bad.
Who said
Shut
that?
up. I'm sorry, but if you're going to sit there and
you just manufactured an argument. You just straw-manned.
So you're saying nobody...
Do you hear yourself when you talk?
So nobody who's homeless doesn't have a mental illness. Yes or no?
So Pomo Apple, hang on just a second. We're gonna get into this, okay? I love and appreciate you. I value your opinion, but I love clowning these toxic ass people. I feel you, okay?
Because I don't care.
I honestly have time today. I already ate. We're gonna have a party soon. I'm gonna eat again. We're good. So people having mental health issues
The
gives
weak.
you the straw man identity of, oh, woe is me, I have mental health issues, when nobody says that.
They're weak. Even if you have a mental illness, you're weak.
Okay, and
Okay, you don't have value. No
are
wonder you're
you like
homeless.
into eugenics?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. If anybody else if anybody else on the panel would like to say anything to this fascist, y'all can go ahead.
Oh, you're garbage.
I
Straight
don't
up. You're,
care. Oh no,
I know
people
you
on the
don't. Of course
internet.
you don't care. Of course you don't care. You've got an IQ of like 3 and you think that people have to live in a meritocracy because you do. You're awful. Like, you are an awful human being. Goodness gracious, I hope your grandma ends up on the street. I hope your mom ends up on the street. I hope all your family ends up on the street. And then all you can tell them is, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, mama. Are you going to give a hand?
I have
Nah,
a step
probably
brother.
You know, I just wanted to say, like, I totally agree with the, politicians hate the homeless, but I live in California, and the homeless population grew after COVID because so many people lost their jobs, and not all those people were mentally ill or drug addicts.
Exactly.
People seem to lack the idea, the very, very basic idea that being able-bodied is a temporary state completely. People can become disabled and homeless by a whole number of things. Like, it's not so black and white, but I mean, you sound like my grandpa, which thank goodness he's dead, because you would have made him proud with your good old boy type of mentality that everybody has to be strong and tough to survive this world. Personally, I no one cares what people like you have to say, country. I mean, just like Christian doing the whole, being against homeless people out at the gas station because they're on drugs. You guys sound so detached from reality and actual people. Do you actually like go and talk to anybody? Or do you just sit in your home, drink your beer, and be ignorant all the time?
No, usually when I see a homeless guy, I just throw $1 down and then just walk off.
Oh, wow, you're such a saint. Jesus sure does love you.
I don't believe in that. Try again.
Okay.
And I do have a stepbrother who's homeless. He tries to ask for
Fine.
help. I don't give it.
Hey, nobody
Of course
asked.
you
And
don't.
also, hang on a second. So what we're not going to do is
He
tell other
could die.
people's stories.
All I can.
Stop. We're not going to tell the people's stories. You are not your brother-in-law. That is not your story to tell. And that's what, and that's what also kind of something that happened to Christian was basically just trying to tell other people's fucking shit, like being like they're
The
drug addicts
homeless
and
die.
whatnot. Hey, shut up. All right. So trying to tell other people's stories, especially when you don't know them, especially when you've already decided that you hate them, that's not going to work out here. Not happening. I guess he has a phone call.
That was actually why I dropped last time. I had come up here before when Christian was up, and I had dropped because I had gotten a phone call. Thank you for allowing me back up. I deeply appreciate it.
Oh, you're all good. We're going to go ahead and let go. Oh, okay, he left. I think he had a phone call. But yeah. And it's also good to just let people know that they're racist pieces of trash. Well, not racist. I'm sorry. Fascist pieces of trash. Didn't necessarily have anything to do with race. But yeah, the whole thing. Oh, Go Balls, you're back. Go Balls is one of my original stalkers, y'all. This dude's been following me around for over a year. So y'all go ahead and at Go Balls. Give him that big old L in the chat. Imagine stalking a homeless person for a year. Imagine cyber stalking a homeless person for a year. That's Go Balls. So yeah, it's like Christian told us what he does, right? He works at a gas station versus you can just say, oh, I have my own house and all this here. But like, okay, you're probably living in squalor. Like people put way too much into being housed without the quality of their housing. For $3,000 outside of Morrison, Tennessee, well, outside of Morrison, Tennessee, let's say he lives in the county, right? First of all, the house, more time, thank y'all so much, chat. More often than not, the homes in the county are actually cheaper, but you are spending money with what it takes to get to and from the city. Also, hello, Sam. Hello to the other comrades in the chat. Hello, Joker. I did not miss y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming in and being here. And thank you to everybody else in the chat as well. If something happens to your utilities, you have to wait longer for it to get fixed because you're out in the county. It's like you trade the expense for housing for literally everything else and all your resources. Everything immediately takes more gas because you're going from the county back to the city to get all of your resources. So it's like, it's not even like, I don't understand when people look at that as some sort of trade-off, because it's not. You spend more on car maintenance at that point. I live in a shit mobile home, but it's a roof, I guess. My dad works construction, takes care of me. That's cool. I mean, I'm not shitting on whatever means people have to not be homeless. Like, by all means. And also there's plenty of disabled people that would otherwise be homeless if they didn't have family taking care of them. So that's normal. So you start talking, and Joe, y'all say, I appreciate y'all's patience. Thank you so much. You can say something else, and then I want to go ahead and let Joe go ahead.
Of course, yes. Thank you. No, I originally jumped in when Christian was going on about it because I also have worked at a gas station. My most recent job was at a 7-Eleven. I've had a lot of time handling, I should say. I don't want that to come off as a bad word, but dealing with the homeless people outside of the store, and they're wonderful people. I mean, you just have to talk to them like they're human. That's kind of the biggest thing he seems to miss, is recognizing them as humans. And I personally take issue with that because, I mean, it is true. The prompt that you have put up is absolutely true. Watching California criminalize homelessness before the state of Florida did showed and proved very clearly that neither Democrats nor Republicans care about people dealing with homelessness. And it's sad. It's a humanitarian issue that we are dealing with at the very heart of our country. Do I think something? I think something like a universal basic income would greatly help with, getting people back on their feet, especially since, people can't, like you said, people can't take care of their most basic needs, and it is causing a lot of deficiencies and stressors that they do not need to deal with, and is only putting them at more of a disadvantage. And it's hurtful to see, and it's even more hurtful that none of our branches of government care about it. Nobody on any kind of governmental level cares, because, I mean, we live in an oligarchy. We live in a capitalist, and according to Elon Musk, pushing more for a meritocracy, which is garbage. And it's just going to completely hurt more and more disenfranchised people, be they disabled, be they homeless, be they dealing with any other kind of insecurities in their own housing and lives. And sorry, I'm just rambling at this point. My apologies.
Oh, you're good. But you're right, and it's like I talked to somebody else. I don't know if you were here for one of the other previous conversations, but I told that person that person disagreed and said was more going down the route was more going down the route of like individuals. And I said, the politicians, the people who have the power to make changes, the people who advocate for the state and federal funding to delegate the budget and stuff, they hate homeless people because they aren't putting more money into preventing homelessness by putting more money into programs that like rent assistance and whatnot. And they aren't doing anything for people after they become homeless. Like, it's not just about shelters. Fuck shelters. Shelters don't do anything. It's about housing programs. It's about housing first.
Absolutely. We have an absurd, just where I live, we have an absurd amount of abandoned buildings, yet we seem to have a rising homeless population. We have so many buildings, we have money that we're spending. Like, I think my state just spent over $1 million on big ass rocks and hostile architecture to keep homeless people from being able to post up, instead of pouring it into these buildings that could be, turned into places for people to go, like low income or, essential housing for people to be able to get off the street. I mean, goodness gracious, my area just shut down their cold weather shelters in the last few years, and it's depressing. And
Yeah.
it's sad that our tax dollars are, I'm not trying to get even more political, but turning little kids into skeletons overseas rather than actually helping the people here materially that truly need it. And no, our politicians do not care. They despise these people. They want these people gone, out of sight, out of mind. And someone
Definitely
else
out of
brought
sight,
up
out of mind.
Trump's new plan. Personally, I'm very wary of it because it sounds like corralling to me.
I mean, it's like, oh, your bars are dropping, by the way. So it's yeah, a lot of people. So like, Trump is like the reason why we're talking about homelessness in politics now, right?
Yeah.
But like before him, nobody else was talking about homelessness, and the only reason why Kamala Harris and Joe Biden started talking about homelessness is because he was talking about homelessness. But the reason why we've gotten to where we are is because the Republicans and Democrats let the programs that prevented homelessness, first and foremost, prevented homelessness, rent assistance and whatnot. They let those programs go. And they dropped like any attempt at housing first for the most part. And it's like, so you said out of sight, out of mind. So there is a charity industrial complex. There is the homeless shelter industrial complex. These people, these organizations that take in people for a little while, either try to get them employment or don't even really do that, and they're just a place to stay, and then those people go back out on the street a few days, a few weeks, a few months later, depending on the program. And I've even seen shelters put a lot of lip service into having a program that helps homeless people that's really just a one size fits all thing that has a low success rate because it's one size fits all, but they get to brag about what they're doing and how they're helping the community, even though they're leaving out an entire population of people that aren't that the program didn't fit, and they're okay with that because the American population believes that homeless people don't deserve agency and options. You know what I mean? Oh, purple, red. Hang on a second. It's not your turn yet. You have some people ahead of you. I do appreciate everybody waiting patiently. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. But someone, if you have anything else you'd like to say, you can go ahead.
Oh no, you have very succinctly and precisely covered basically all of what I'm saying. I think this is a wonderful live. Thank you so much for having this very informative type of discussion. Again, I'm sorry for the people who are coming in here and being agent provocateur and just being dicks deprived of humanity, and just absolutely monstrous towards not only you, but people in the comments and people on the streets. I hope you all have a beautiful day.
Thank you too. Thank you. I hope you have a beautiful day as well, someone. I appreciate you coming up, and we're gonna get to Joe, and then we're gonna get to Hakuna, and then we're gonna get to Purple. Thank you so much for coming up, and y'all please follow someone.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, guys.
Same to you. Joe, thank you so much for waiting patiently. Please go ahead.
Yeah, of course. So like I said, like your prompt really got me. I live in Sacramento, and after COVID, we saw a huge increase in homelessness, and like I think we probably have a higher population than San Francisco now. And instead of, looking for a solution, the city decided to give our city manager, who had no solution, a huge raise, who's now almost making $500,000 a year, which is more than the president, not to come up with a solution. And we also have, after COVID, we have all these empty state buildings that nobody's using, completely empty, that could be, I know shelters are just a Band-Aid, but there could be clinics, shelters, place education, for these people to go. It's downtown, it's near everything, and it would be perfect. But because it's a state building, a federal building, they don't want to, quote unquote, ruin it. And so it's just corrupt. And I've, seen all these politicians make money off of the backs of the homeless people, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's that's what I said by the charity industrial complex and the shelter industrial complex. These people have become way too content with shelters, which is why on a previous account and over on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist about why people don't stay in shelters, because way too much weight gets leaned into shelters. If shelters were a fix-it, it would be fixed, because there are plenty of shelters. Not every area has a shelter, but if that were the case, people would be unhoused. Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, shelters have a big problem with SA. Shelters have a big problem with everything. I'm gonna let you speak in just a second, Joe. I'm sorry, but when somebody says stuff like this, I gotta address it. Shelter, you are correct, Moxie. And shelters have a big problem with everything. There's somebody out here who he's housed now, but he was homeless for a good few years. And over his time of homelessness, he's been stabbed twice. And both of those times were in shelters. Shelters are, and it's not just the things that the clients do to each other. It's also about the things that staff does. Staff does abuse their power dynamic. Staff also steals from the clients. Staff is also sexually inappropriate with the clients, and just pretty much anything else you can think. It's like prison. And the shelter staff are the prison wardens. And nobody who's ever been in a shelter, plenty of people have been homeless, and some homeless people have never been in a shelter during their time of homelessness before they got housing, and they don't understand that. A lot of people don't go to shelters because they understand that they take your agency away from you, and the staff will abuse their power dynamics. Joe, please continue.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. I think, shelters are just a Band-Aid, especially when they're publicly funded. There is a shelter in Sacramento that I have done a lot of work at, and it's a women's shelter, and it's funded by one of the churches here by donations, and they actually do a really good job. It's more of a program where it's the women, they can live there for a month, but they have to go to classes, and then the shelter has a restaurant where the women go to work, and then they graduate the program, and I think it's like 90% of the women end up housed. Their kids end up in school, and they end up off the streets, which, programs like that are great.
Yeah, like, far be it for me to demonize all shelters. Some shelters are out here helping people. It's just that those shelters that are accommodating and helping people are so far and few. A lot of these shelters are just turnover.
Yeah.
Where they just take you off the street for a few days, weeks, months, but then you go back on the street until you can come back into the shelter. That's one of the shelters in Rochester, Minnesota. They don't have any programs or anything. It's just a place where you can stay for a month, and you can either figure it out over the course of that month, or you wait 3 months until you can come back.
Yeah, it's just like the prison system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just saying something. I make sounds.
Oh no, you're good.
But you can go ahead. I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
No, that's pretty much all I had to say. And thank you for doing this.
For sure. And y'all follow Joe. Got a good head on his shoulders.
Appreciate you guys.
It's all good. Take care.
You too, thank you.
Oh, it's all good. Hakuna, how you doing?
Good. How are you, dude?
I'm doing quite well. Wait, what would you like to say about? Well, first of all, how have you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Right on. What would you like to say about the topic, my friend?
I just want to ask. I'll just. There's one thing I wanted to point out, and then I can drop. But do you know how much your city spent on violently sweeping encampments?
Do I know exactly how much? No, but I know.
Oh, just like
a lot.
Yeah, so I think they just came out for 2023. They spent around $5.5 to $7.5 million sweeping encampments. That's just for this. That's just the cost of sending the cops in and sweeping encampments.
Yeah.
And I wonder. I wonder where that money.
I know where some of that money came from. It came out of the COVID budget and it came out of the opioid budget for here.
Oh, really?
Specifically, yeah.
I just wonder, maybe that's a lot of money, and it could probably be spent on other things except telling cops to go in. And I know you probably know about what they do in these sweeps, and it's bad. It's absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah, I do. I've seen the videos. That's why I don't stay in camps. I've seen the videos.
Yeah, and it blows my mind that we this is what we're paying for. And of course, the mayor is a Democrat. And
you're talking specifically about Jacob Fry. Jacob Fry is a great Democrat for people who have money. If you don't have money and you don't have a place to live, Jacob Fry is a Republican for you.
Yeah, what I want to say about him is not appropriate for this app.
Okay.
But I just think the amount of money that they're paying into this when they probably could have easily paid for, what could help people get out of encampments. It's just mind-boggling. So they choose violence. So
yeah, I feel that. Yeah, they do. They're Republican and Democrat. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they choose. So
hi.
That's all I got.
For sure. Thank you for coming up.
Yep, for sure.
DZ, you're gonna wait a second. We're gonna see what Purple has to say. Purple was Eddie, and Purple, thank you so much for your patience. Purple, please go ahead.
I'm gonna strongly disagree with the prompt.
Okay.
Homelessness, it's like there's different levels of homelessness what can contribute, whether you lack skills, resource, and opportunity, or addiction. I look at it from as a class issue and an individual issue. And then I look at it from there also how people genuinely understand how policy making, law making, and a moral responsibility that plays into it. I'm from Fresno, California, for context, 40 years old. I'm also active duty military. My hometown in California, since I was a little girl, we've had so many social programs. People took advantage of them and hard launched themselves into, stability. Huh?
So you sold your body to the U.S. government so you could have your needs taken care of, correct?
You want to call it selling? Work is the same thing.
Yeah, it is. You sold your body to the U.S.
Listen, let me be very clear. That word banter does not insult me. I knew what I signed up for.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you didn't. I'm just saying as somebody who sold their body to the military, you don't have to worry about being homeless.
It's a job.
It's not a job. Actually, it's not a job. It's a career. You're supposed to be there for a while, and there are goals for you to be.
No. That's where you get to see if you want to have the debate and you have a civil, you can enlist for how long you want to. People do the 4 years, and they did. I stayed for 14 because I kept making promotion.
So for you, it was a career. You just proved what I said.
Yeah, it's a choice. I had a choice. I can leave at any time. When my term is up, I can leave, and if I leave, I'm set for the rest of the
stop loss?
Huh?
Technically, don't they have stop loss where technically you can't leave under certain circumstances?
No, you have 5 different branches, so you got to know what branch that applies to. I'm in the Navy, so that does not apply to me.
Okay, all right.
So
Yeah,
For
Navy
me,
doesn't have stop loss. You're right.
yeah. So for me, I came in for money for college, and it was that. It was that simple. So I stayed out.
So you sold your body to the U.S. government to get your needs
That's
met.
not selling. So how did I sell it? I just took an oath. I didn't die on the front line. I didn't come back in the pine box to my mama. My parents are
That's
sad.
not what that. So if we both agree that labor is the same selling your body,
It was the same.
and we know that there are plenty of people who don't die.
So what's the difference of being a lawyer, a doctor? You're still selling your body, babe. College
No,
institution.
I didn't say there was, but then I said you sold your body to get your needs met, and
How am
then
I
you
selling my
went into a pine box. Nobody was talking about anybody dying except you.
Yeah. But you might as well, because you're saying I sold my body. I didn't sell my body. I enlisted.
Yeah, you sold your GI, right?
I enlisted. So that's, it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't change my circumstance. I chose what I chose to do.
Ma'am, you're GI, right? You're government issued, right?
Huh?
You're GI, right? And we both know that GI stands for government issued, right?
No, that was back in World War II. We're not GIs no more, babe. They
sure? Yeah. Because I feel like people in the Army would disagree with that statement.
No.
Okay.
The GI, the actual term that we sell for World War II vets, they deal with that program.
One of two of us is probably in trouble. It's probably me. Sean, you got to echo.
But at the end of the day,
we still deal with the term GI. As a matter of fact, you're a GI all the way until you have your actual job coming out of basic, and you're maybe if you're part of combat, sure, but you're GI the entire time. GI is basic for you are government issue, and if you happen to have a job change in the midst and before you get assigned it, you're a GI.
So I was right.
No, it doesn't apply. Navy, we don't use the term GI.
But you still are, even if you don't use the term, because you're still paid by the government. You're still.
If you join, I can't hear anything. But if you join the military, you sign a contract, which means that you yourself can, at any given time, decide to leave if you would like it without extreme penalty. So yes, you're indeed selling yourself.
Yeah,
ma'am, you know what? I don't have anything against you. I'm glad you did whatever you need to do to get your needs met. I would tell you the same thing I'd tell anybody else. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you found your calling in life. Okay? Okay?
But what's your problem? But your problem is that
don't project. Just because I'm going off the now, don't get me wrong. People in the Navy are very intelligent. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately for you, I didn't have to go to the Navy to do it. So,
I in my hometown. Here's the thing. I don't make any regrets of choosing to leave Fresno. I wanted out. And I chose the military to get out of Fresno. I came in at 25. But the problem about homelessness.
So you went into the military to get your needs met. Because, I'm from Louisiana. Poverty stricken as fuck. A lot of people in Louisiana go to the military to get out of poverty.
But I wasn't poverty stricken, though. I was just working 2 jobs and going to college, and I was just like, you know what? I want to leave. I wanted a change of environment. So
why were you working 2 jobs?
I was on my own.
You were working 2 jobs because you wanted to, and you didn't have to.
It was good money. I had nothing else to do. I had no kids. I was 19. Had no kids. I was just like, let me stack up my money. But after a while, I was just like, there has to be more than life than just going to school. I was going to college part-time and working 2 jobs. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm not really going nowhere. Let me get a change of environment. And so I joined the military and I got out of Fresno. Ain't been back in 15 years.
You know what? I have more experience with Army and Marines because that was my biological fraternal unit. Army and Marines. I'm gonna mute you, Sean. You have echo.
Real quick, you didn't have to pay for medical. You didn't have to pay for dental. You had to pay minimal if you were getting any kind of food, chow hall, all that good stuff. Having your needs met. And you had to give and sign a contract to be able to do so, of which you don't get anymore after you get out.
Oh, I get my benefits. They ain't taking nothing away from veterans, despite what they're saying. So I know the long game. I watch everything.
You got that because you signed the contract. You're GI, babe. I don't know why you're trying to over. There's no over it. There's no under it. There's no around it. Your government issue.
Why are you hyper focused of me being active duty when I'm talking
Because
about?
you're about to say something shitting on homeless people while you go in the military to not be homeless.
Here's a choice about homelessness. When you have,
there is no choice. Nobody chooses to be homeless, but you can definitely choose to sign your life away.
You can't choose to be homeless if you have.
No, you don't. Nobody chooses homeless. Hey, have you ever been homeless?
To be job. To be homeless means
babe,
you're absent of.
Babe, why didn't you just choose to be homeless instead of working 2 jobs and going to college and then signing and then selling your body to the military?
That means that I chose not to work and to provide for myself.
Okay, so nobody chooses. So how long have you been homeless?
I've never been homeless.
Darling, I've been homeless for a long ass time, much longer than never, going well over 2 years.
Since I was 14 years old.
I can confirm that nobody chooses to be homeless. And those things that people mark off as choices, they don't consider the other choices that the other person had. A lot of people are homeless due to domestic violence, and you could argue, and some people do, that you chose to be homeless because you left your abusive family or partner, because domestic violence is like a lot of different things. Just contrary to popular belief.
I'm impressed. We have so many programs.
I can tell you only have a few certain walks of life.
Certain walks of life, I know the understanding. My mom drilled in my head. You either go to school, you work, or you go to service.
Yeah, a few certain walks of life, like I said. Thanks for proving my point.
But so you're mad because I chose to basically.
Nobody's mad, darling. You're the one talking about people being mad.
No. So
I promise you ain't nobody mad but you. I promise you.
I'm not mad. But homeless is a choice.
I'm telling you that you're uneducated on what you're talking about. Nobody's mad.
So you're saying that there was no
you should
resource?
Definitely educate yourself. Hello, Kate.
So there was no resource afforded to you being in domestic violence? There are plenty of programs. So you're saying that there was no social program for you as a survivor, a DV?
Where I'm from, no.
Where I'm from, there are plenty. And you know why there are plenty? Because there's people who advocate. No, because there's people who advocate. People who.
Darling, I've been homeless longer than you have. There's nothing you can tell me.
There's nothing you can tell me when I see people
because a lot of people, I'm homeless due to family domestic violence. When people do these domestic violence shelters, they want people who are homeless to intimate partner violence, and they prioritize people with children. So no, I promise you I know what I'm talking about before you do. I promise you. Any argument that you're trying to have, you're going to lose.
But you're sitting there, you're saying you promise? But I'm saying
absolutely promise. As a matter of fact, I'll put money on it. I'll bet you $20 right now.
In my hometown, and I promise you, you can actually.
I'm not from your hometown. You're being anecdotal because you don't have a point.
You don't have a point because where you have nobody helped you.
So
you don't have a point because where nobody helped you.
Hey, Sean, are you in the garage?
So your stance
I became homeless in my early 20s.
Okay.
So the few resources that were available, they weren't available to me because they didn't really have like a whole bunch of young adult stuff like they have now.
So because you didn't have, my thing is, so since you didn't have that resource where you were at in Louisiana, that discounts everywhere else where people actually do the work to help people like you?
I didn't say it does.
But you're saying I don't have that experience where I'm from. I've never had the experience somebody put their hands on me because anybody put their hands on me, they got hurt. But
it's not about people putting their hands on you. Do you know that abuse and domestic violence also looks like different things?
Judiciary,
let's start somewhere. How old are you?
I'm 39 years old.
39, I'm 36. We're on the same playing field. Mm-hmm. But as two 30-year-olds talking to each other, we both know that we have very limited life experience, and you have entered into uncharted territory.
Uncharted territory because I never had nobody put their hands on me, but I've helped.
It's not about just somebody putting their hands on you. Are you listening to what I'm saying, or do you have to wait until you reach your golden age? I'm literally telling you, and for all the other reasons,
victim then at that point, because there's people who help y'all.
Ma'am, stop. All these other reasons why people become homeless, right? Family death, medical bills, disability. Oh, she left? No, she didn't. She had a text message. Oh, now she left. The woman, yeah, she's like she sold her life to the military, and she wants to tell somebody else how else this works. It's like, ma'am, no. I promise you, no. Not and I've been homeless in other places too, not just here. It's like you don't have the life experience. It's weird how people with no life experience try to argue with me. Honestly,
I was homeless because I don't even think about this anymore because it pissed me off so bad. But when I wanted to go be closer to the kids, and I moved back to DC, had everything set up, roommate, renting, all of that good stuff, and suddenly was thrown out for a better roommate that would pay more. And lo and behold, when I'm going to try and get support and all of this stuff, because these programs were sure there, but were they there for this veteran and his service dog? No, they weren't. Which means that try as I might, even though I was working, even though I had a job, I had to spend all my money on hotels month after month after month, looking all over the place, trying to find a program that would help me find housing with a service dog. You would think, as a veteran clearly having disability and such, I'd be at the top of the list. But that didn't seem to be the case. It's almost like, regardless of the decisions I made, I was still stuck in that scenario, AKA, it wasn't my choice. God damn.
yeah. As soon as people say it's a choice, I'm like, no. User, let's start off with your age. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was just going to ask if everybody knows what the opposite of love is.
Anyway, the opposite of love is apathy, not hate, by the way. Hello, Flyman. Hey, Polly. Go
It's
ahead.
black licorice. The opposite of love is black licorice.
Yeah, the opposite, but we do know the answer to that question. That's why we're not getting into deeper philosophical things up here, because this is about politics. Not to say that philosophical and politics don't overlap, but yeah, we do know the difference. We do know that it's apathy. But yeah, black licorice, jelly beans, y'all cut it out. The second somebody starts talking about food, I tell you. But yeah, the whole thing is like, should there have been services for you that the Democrats and or Republicans should have provided? Yeah. But Democrats and Republicans don't give a shit about homeless people. So you and your service dog were fucking homeless.
You know what's wild too? So you know how I was in the mental health recovery treatment over in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
You got substance abuse, you got mental health recovery you need, and they had us all together. People chose to go there to better themselves, to heal, to put themselves in a better situation in life. You would think there would be automatic programs to where you would be able to get housed and be able to get homes. But no, somehow, some way, there are no programs after that. So you would finish your treatment, your program, get your certificate, complete everything, and then be homeless again. What are we talking about? That's not their choice.
I talked to that, said something to that effect to somebody else earlier in the conversation before you and Stacy so beautifully graced my live stream space. What's happening in the chat right now? What's happening? Huh? Pomo, Polly, are y'all okay? Are y'all just having fun time?
You know what's wild too? People always say both sides this, both sides that. Tim Walz, oddly enough, had a program where you just get 2 G's just because being a veteran there. And I get back to Iowa, I'm like, oh yeah, they're real veteran friendly here, right? Should be something similar. No.
Oh, Iowa
No.
fucking you saw the did you see the election results? Iowa went back strong Republican. They were light Republican for a while, but they went back strong Republican. It's fun. Um but like yeah, Tim Walz so Tim Walz dedicated I think some $1 million. I forgot how much now to like homelessness in general in the state of Minnesota, and then was like, all right, mayors, city councils, take this money, do whatever. And Jacob Fry also used some of that money to put up some more of these fucking fences. But that's Jacob Fry though. That doesn't speak for everybody. The mayor over in St. Paul did something different. I don't know what they're doing in Duluth. The mayor of Rochester took that money and did something different. Everybody took, whoever needed that money took it and they did something different. The point is that trying to trust somebody about a systemic issue based on their politics is ill-guided. Because there's also a Republican a few years ago, and when I say a few years, I mean maybe a decade, that did like that actually did like economics, went to college for economics or some shit, and then figured out through some very short math that putting money into people who are homeless actually resolves homelessness. And he resolved homelessness in his town. And he was a Republican. Again, I want to remind everybody, this was a Republican. And the situation just fucking improved. And I think he was a mayor or something. I don't remember if he was a governor. I think it was a specific place. So he was like a mayor. And then that place just the homelessness decreased because they were giving people money and housing and food. And that's it. That end of the story. That's the end of the TikTok.
You know what's wild?
Like, huh?
Nobody's mad at anybody for being a Republican. We're mad about motherfuckers being dishonest as shit about Republicans and anyone else that is not for the betterment of the people.
Exactly.
The majority happen to be Republicans, but really the matter is, are you being honest about the problem or not? Because I don't care what side you're on. I care about whether you care enough to do something. It's not complicated. It really isn't. You know how you improve the economy and help small businesses? You help people be able to afford said businesses to put money into the economy. It is not. Ask yourself why there are people that would not make programs where there is a consistent cash flow to all the communities to help maintain the economy. Because that's easy math. Easy.
And I don't see why nobody, speaking of Joe Biden them, I don't see why nobody is talking about how Donald Trump might have gotten some votes, because he's the only one who did the stimulus checks. And Joe Biden did the stimulus check with a caveat. I think he's the one who did the stimulus check with the caveat of like, you have to file your taxes. And like if you don't have employment, you don't have taxes to file. So like, yeah, it was $1,200. Yes, I hear y'all. It's $1,200, but it's $1,200 that everybody got. Most people got, versus having to file your fucking taxes.
And watch this. Trump giving out a stimulus was a good thing. You see how easy that was? See how easy it was to make an honest statement about something that is good for people, even though I hate the guy. Even though.
Can you give a child tax credit stimulus? There was also, I think Joe Biden also did he did that child thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gave people, Joe Biden had so many caveats with his stimulus checks, whereas Donald Trump was like, we're going to give y'all $1,200. Yes, I'm out of fucking touch with the population, but here's $1,200, make it work.
Well, what's wild to me is, okay, let's assume that everybody's like, you know what? Things are helping people out. You know what? Scratch that. Let's go with the veteran community. It's the easiest one to go through, where people are like, we care about the veterans, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll watch the veterans receive no aid and still be like, no, they're helping them. Totally are. Okay, so they're talking about proposing cutting the VA further. Obviously, that's bad. And forcing the VA to go to an automated system, which reduces one, jobs, two, it makes it easier for all the claims to be denied, which obviously is the direction it's going in. Because claims right now are on an average of about, I think Stacey said 144 days or so, fastest they've ever been getting approved. Except before that, they were all getting denied at about a 75% rate. So if you're making it easier for them to deny benefits, how are you even opening your mouth about caring about veterans? Sorry, 113 days.
I don't get it. Y'all, I put up a poll. Y'all please do vote on the poll. Hector, yeah, I agree with the prompts. Thank you so much. Thank y'all to everybody still rocking with me in the chat. Thank you so much to the mods. Sean, you can stay. I'm just going to get to long legs here.
Oh, yeah.
One
more thing. I speak from experience being a veteran that's been out for 12 years, still working on his disability compensation claim. Still.
Yeah, still. All this time later. And that's just like you're disabled? Fucking. Like, hey, Rick. Long legs, hello. You can unmute. Hello.
I wanted to say I've been listening to you all for a while. Donald Trump never gave you a stimulus check. He just wrote his name on that check, and Nancy Pelosi gave you that check.
Okay.
And that's all I wanted to say, because Trump didn't give you anything. He just held it up and signed his name on your check with a Sharpie. But Nancy Pelosi pushed that check through.
All right, I'm not going to argue with you. Right on.
And I understand homeless. Once I was divorced and I was living in my van, so I really understand it. And they should have more programs. But the thing I wanted to say about veterans as well, I have 5 brothers. And they all retired from either Navy, Army, all of the branches. But we live in North Carolina. Now, it wasn't that difficult for them to get it. So maybe, when it comes to the veteran, maybe it's based upon where you're at.
Okay. Yeah, it is based on where you are. Not all VAs are created equal.
Right, because I think like for North Carolina, Fort Bragg, they have a lot of bases here. And I know all my brothers, they got their disability, their retirement. They don't have a big problem with it. So I just think, based on the area you're in.
When you retire, you automatically get benefits. It's not you have to request it kind of thing. When you retire,
but disability as well. I understand.
Yeah, I'm saying all that. Us that didn't do 20 years, we have to request it. We have to request it and have it approved, and it all goes to the same place, the Physical Evaluation Board down in Northern Virginia and DC. I only know that because I work there. I only know that because I got stationed over there at the Navy Yard. But it all goes to one specific spot, and I mean all the services. All the services go to one spot, and obviously the denial rate is going to be on par with not having to split the military budget down to go into the VA, as opposed to like a 20-30 billion that they don't account for every year.
Yeah.
Like these guys literally fail every inspection every year, can't account for the money that's gone, but will not disperse extra money to the VA, and will cut it at the same time. And it's keeping knowledge about the program from the people is the easiest way to do it. Talking about programs existing and then making it so that people don't have access to them is a Democratic and Republican playbook. It's just on different levels.
I agree.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But to make it easier, it would take nothing, literally nothing, but staffing every single VA better. But literally every VA you can go to is understaffed. Some perform better than others. Like here in Iowa is probably the best VA I've been to, and I went to the Charlotte one, I went to the DC, I went to the Northern Virginia, I went to the Texas, Houston, Texas. Finally, this one around here is the one that actually started getting me some traction on my claim. And a lot of veterans don't have that privilege to be able to go to multiple states and try to find one that's actually going to work for them. So imagine what it's like for people who happen to live in areas where they're not doing anything for them. And when they're talking about nothing being done for them, people are like, well, things are great over here. It's like racism. You know, when black people are like, I never experienced racism, I've never seen anyone be racist. That's the point. The point is for everyone to be able to have that experience, not just you. Literally the point.
That ain't gonna happen.
No, I mean, I feel that though, like and like you're right, and I have met quite a few black people who are like, what racism? And I'm like, okay, good for you. Can we get that for everybody? But like, this really does come up with the VA, and I've had this conversation several times. I probably had this conversation about as many times as an actual veteran, because it just everything just kind of seems to circle back around to that, because it's all interconnected.
Yes.
But yeah, like not all, like people really need to understand that not all VAs are created equal.
Right.
And also, like another veteran told me that your benefits are based on how popular your war was if you were in service during wartime.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Also, Trump is also stating that every single veteran has their claim revisited every single year, and they can deem it, even if you've been getting benefits for, say, 10 years, they can deny you now, and you will no longer get benefits. And tell me how that makes sense. How does that?
Well, hang on. Does that mean that they're going to staff them more? They're going to increase staff?
But I would like to say something.
What? Hang on, long leg. Wait, hang
sorry.
on. Like, I respect you. You're cool. I just want to know what's funny. I feel like I asked a good question.
It is a good question, but the answer is always going to be no.
Damn.
It's like, hey, do they care about veterans? Oh, shit. You don't know the answer to that? No.
Okay. Long legs, please go ahead.
You know, I think what you were saying, it all comes back to racism. Because you're right. Because they only want to keep America white.
Yeah.
Majority white. So that's, not accepting or doing better by the veterans. Because majority of them, I could be wrong, are people of color. Or maybe not. But that's another way of keeping people of color back so they can make America more white. And that, until people see that is the ultimate problem, we're never going to get the help or the justice or equality that we so deserve.
You're right.
Long legs, you know what? You're so damn right, because how nefarious is a system that's fine with having collateral damage of its own people just to ensure people of color and black people stay down?
Yeah.
Like they're like, hey, you know, some white people are going to suffer, right? They're like, that's fine as long as they're bad.
But they've been doing that all as long as we've been over here. I'm gonna give you for example, when they made black people slaves and the poor white folks that didn't own anything, hell, they don't even realize they got too.
Yeah. There were white people working on poor white people working on plantation.
Yeah. Right. And then they didn't own anything. They were just as poor as the slave. Matter of fact, the slave was almost better because they did have a place to stay. They couldn't do any better. Some were, they was the plantation leader, but all of them couldn't have worked that way. And when it's all said and done, because you cannot stop change, white people going to realize they have been duped more than we have.
Well, like white, the average working class white person is told up front that they are more valuable. Meanwhile, being put in the same situation as their black and etc. counterparts, right? Thank you so much for the follow. Thank everybody who's followed me. Hello, Tiana. It's like my best example of that is what's going on in St. Louis, Missouri. So for those of you who don't know, St. Louis, Missouri is sitting on top of a lot of nuclear waste. And that nuclear waste, the opening for that nuclear waste caught on fire. Not recently. That fire's been there for years. I don't know how many. but the overall systemic racism in St. Louis teaches those white people that it's okay to be abusive towards the black people who live there. I've been to St. Louis, Missouri. I've seen the discrepancies for myself. White people live in homes, and a lot of black people over there are living in fucking dilapidated houses. At the end of the day, they're sitting on the same flaming toxic waste. So they get to have this better lifestyle, and they're going to be blown to the same smithereens and the same water contamination when that fire reaches that nuclear waste. Whatever happens with that, I don't know if it's going to blow up, but I know it's going to fuck up their water and their soil. They have systemic racism going for them. Meanwhile, they're going to suffer the same fucking situation.
Yes.
If when push comes to shove on that situation, and they don't have health care.
But that's why Trump loved the ignorant. They're ignorant, and they don't care to learn more so they can progress. They just want to stay complacent. That's why Trump said he loved the ignorant. That's the people he loved.
Yeah, for real. Hang on a second. Somebody's asking if they can join Kamala 2024. Why do you want to join? Good Lord, why do you want to join? And somebody posted, it's like here in New Jersey, except the Jewish community that's taught it's okay to spit on everyone. That's a yikes for me, dog. I've never heard of that, but like, I don't, given different communities have different demographics, I don't doubt it. I want to talk about the topic. Check the bio. Yeah. Let's see what we got.
But even, I don't mean to interrupt, but even all Jews are not bad, because
that's not what we're saying. It's like every place has different demographics, therefore they have different social issues.
Yes.
So I can't say that that's not happening.
Oh yeah.
And totally acknowledge that there are plenty of anti-Zionist Jews. There are, that group is not defined by this one group's demographic situation.
Right.
If they I'm sure they know that if they try to do that outside of the area in which they live, they'll get curb stomped. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm gonna go back to the veterans for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
During Vietnam War, when the vets came back, they dogged them. America never gonna have. I'm 60. Mm-hmm. I have came to agreement in my own heart and mind. Now things might get a little better, but I've been living this for a minute. All I know, they're gonna, but they can't stop change. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but what I'm saying is that they're gonna fight tooth and nail to make sure they are on top, because they are afraid of what they did to us, we're gonna do to them, and we're not even them kind of people.
And that's the thing, though. They're afraid of that because that's what they've been taught. They are taught that if they teach an accurate representation of chattel slavery, we're going to do that to them. When really, white people have done a great job of fucking other white people over while telling them that they're more superior than black and brown people already. That's why I use the example of St. Louis. They're sitting on the same toxic land while they have systemic racism. When that shit goes kablooey, or whatever that's gonna look like with that underground toxic fire shit, the white people and the black people are gonna be in the same fucking situation.
I hope the black one's on vacation. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
but you know what? I have learned so much, and white people, they are weird. I have been around them all my life. I'm gonna tell you something about white people.
Go ahead.
They'll pretend to be on your side. They'll pretend and they'll talk nice to you and pretend they support you, and they will. But when push come to shove, they're not. And this is how it always been. Always, black people always, they're not gonna be happy till we all raise up. And I ain't gonna say no more after that.
Okay, I understand. It's like some people don't have Yeah, her. That's what I was about to say. Some people don't have a true understanding of solidarity. And like white people have a lot to learn. And you know what? Everybody, I'm going to say this, everybody raised under capitalism, American capitalism. Yes. We all have a lot to learn about solidarity. Because, hang on a second, I'm chewing. Because we're not taught solidarity because solidarity works against capitalism.
But you know, I was raised with no capitalism. Back in our day, you could have no money and you could go to a store, just your name, you can get stuff on credit. It's much different than it is now. And I know everything progress, but
I also want to point out, and you know this, I just want to, bring it into I just want to address the elephant in the room real quick. Progress isn't linear.
Exactly.
But,
you're right.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, you're right. It can be, go to the left or the right or even down.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But I would just love to make white people understand what you're doing, and then they want to put it all in the name of Christianity. That's why I can't get with it. I mean, even I can't treat people bad because I want my pockets to be fat. All I know, when you die, you can't go nowhere with money in your pocket.
Exactly, you're right.
I'd rather go with my name being cast wherever with all the things I have contribute and done and loved and shared. I don't care about, like companies. They can't get enough billions of dollars. I don't understand that. You rather see a nation suffer and you have trillions of extra dollars.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. One day we're going to realize, and I might not be here living, but black, white, every color going to get together and just lose it. I believe that's what it's going to take to overthrow these systems.
Okay. I don't have any. So I think that we are all in this fight, understanding that we might not live to see the end of it, but everything comes to an end.
Yes. Amen.
And it is going to take unity, and people who have access to the systemic privileges are not going to be the ones leading the revolution.
Exactly.
It's going to be people like us leading the revolution.
It have always been. Show me something that we didn't start the revolution on.
Exactly, you're right. Like I found out the first ambulance system in the United States was owned by black people. Cause like
ambulance, refrigerated trucks. I could go on. You ain't even got enough time. So
yeah,
I ain't gonna even start.
You're right.
But then they hold information back, and you know what? They're gonna FOFA and find out that without people of color, especially Black Americans, it would be hard. I won't say they couldn't live. They probably wouldn't have the same quality of life, but I think if we separated, we would have a better quality of life without them.
I made a joke once. I don't know if I can make this joke here, but it is on my YouTube channel. I do stand up, y'all. And I know I have this set recorded in some way, shape, or form. And I made a joke about segregation, but hear me out. It's not going where you think it's going. And and I was like, hell yeah, I love segregation. I want black people to live in gated communities and white people have to come in with armed guards. Yeah, of course, the way I retold it wasn't all that funny, but if you listen to the way I delivered the joke at the time, it was hilarious.
You know what made me think of South Africa? When they threw all them white people out and all the white people that didn't leave, they wish they did have a project to live in, because where they live is called squalor. It's just nothing. And I love it. They all white. When they complain, well, they discriminate. Okay, then the damn tables then flip.
Yeah, for real.
No. I'm sorry.
I tell you, they don't want the energy back, but they gonna get the energy back one way or another. Or we gonna have a revolution.
Exactly. And for all black folks that listen and they use Christianity to hold you back, That shit is old.
Yeah.
I don't mean no harm. That's old.
No,
I
you
believe in God, but not that stuff they be telling us. They have. I told my husband. I said, well, if they enslaved us, beat us, raped us, why in the hell would they give us a religion that would help us?
Can we talk? Can we tell the whole truth? Can we fucking talk about it? But hey, but I do want Sean to get a word in edgewise. But I do want to say
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm gonna shut up and listen.
Oh, you good?
No, all of you talk to a point where what sucks about it is that Christianity thing, it has people being like, God is going to make my solution better for me in my lifetime, and that's all I need to worry about. If there's something that is required from me that I'm not going to get to enjoy and it's for the future generations, they're not going to do it.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but that's what we deal with right now. That's the reason a lot of people don't take action, because they're not going to get to enjoy the fruits of their labor in this lifetime. So if you're not going to enjoy it, why even do it?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel it.
But it's a group of people that are leaders, and I'm like this. If it's for a cause, especially for our people, I don't care if I'm 80 and I have to use my cane. I'm gonna be right down on the front line, hobbling down right with y'all, because right is right.
You're right. And I do want to answer Stacy's question. So, the unpopular opinion, nobody's gonna like me saying this. To make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs. Not everybody's gonna get on the other side of the. Not everybody's gonna live to see the other side of the revolution. With that being said, not everybody's living to see the other side of the revolution now, and there will be some people who aren't gonna make it, and they're gonna be left behind, and that's the sad reality of it. While the revolution is meant to make a society where we don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's my answer to that question.
Well, you gotta let a slave be a slave.
Well, like, because not everybody made it out the other side of abolishing slavery. Some people died. Some people and that's just like, because like there were African slaves that were disabled. There were African slaves that became disabled because of all of the horrors and machinations of chattel slavery. They didn't make it to see the other side. They had to be some of the eggs that became the omelet. And here we are, where like I admit we do have a different form of slavery. We have wage slavery, we have incarceration. Yes. I'm not arguing anybody about that, but we're not chattel slavery. We like, some people aren't going to make it to the other side of it. Go ahead, long legs.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't think for the ones that's gonna be active in the fight. All I know, I think everybody, and I know everybody don't think alike. I think if you're black and if you're being oppressed, and you can't tell me that you're black and you ain't never, experienced racism. Now, you might have not known it was racism, but you have, if you lived around any white people, you just didn't know it. And there's some good white people. I grew up with some, but that's not the mass. The ones that's important or at the top that make the decisions, those are the ones I'm referring to. And
Yeah,
I'm always going to be in the fight until I can't fight no more. And I feel as though if you love your kids, the next generation, which I do, especially people of color, it's not just because we're black people. We are something special about our group of people, and they won't let it out.
I also love how you just white friend your.
I'm sorry.
I have white friends. I love white people.
I do too. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They're great.
No, for real. Oh,
some of them are.
Not one of the good ones.
Y'all one of the good ones. My friend, do you have a phone call? Long legs, do you have a phone call?
I do.
All right, we're gonna let you go, okay?
Okay, thank you.
For sure. Thanks for coming up.
Bye.
Bye. That was awesome. Thank you, and Vegas Critter Collective. Thank you for the follow. B Michael. Thank you for the follow. Thank you to everybody for the follow. She her. Also great to see you again.
Go ahead. Like Bobby Seals, Fred Hampton, Nat Turner, they didn't get to enjoy the results. They didn't get to enjoy those things, but we still needed those things to be done.
Yeah,
It's
you're
that
right.
simple.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
Who's Vegas Critter Collective?
Vegas. Oh, I just thank Vegas Critter for following. I like to thank people every now and then. But everybody went quiet and my screen did something, so I thought the live ended, but we're good. But yeah, thank you so much for making a new poll, Stacy. Vegas is Coyote's other account. Oh, okay. And I did see Coyote come in. But yeah, I definitely she did the whole, I have white friends. I don't hate white people. Nick, I do mutual aid and harm reduction in Vegas. Right on. We learn from each other. Hell yeah, we do.
Yeah, white people. I got white friends that they let me call them Bob all the time. Like
Not Bob.
we
Come
get
on now.
together and we let them make the potato salad. We
We add the raisins for the homies. You pour out the raisins. You put the potatoes on the floor. You pour out the raisins for all your fallen Bobs. Yeah. What? You walked right into it. Anyway. All right, y'all. I've been live for a little over an hour and a half. Thank you to everybody for all the contributions to the conversation. This live will go up on YouTube. The VOD will be on YouTube. And I also made a new background. For those of you who don't know, I'm on Blue Sky. I got back on Blue Sky. Let me give y'all my thing real quick because it is different from my other things. This is me on Blue Sky because educated unhoused person was too long. So I had to do that. Great background, very factual presentation. Thank you. But I don't like to cut people off. Sean, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, so I want to leave people with what Jasmine's plan was to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jasmine was gonna have a lot of executive orders to address all of these needs that we were talking about, with the understanding that, of course, the next president can remove the same things, but that would be the entire point. One, to prove that people... Wait, did I drop? Did I drop?
No, you're still here as far as I can see.
Okay. Okay. Right? But
Yeah,
okay.
TikTok is being weird.
Yeah, the understanding that, yes, presidents can overturn, remove them, all the above, but that was the entire point. The point is that showing, one, this can be done. Two, you can vote someone in that's able to do it. And three, the choice is on you if you want to have people in power and office that are going to take care of your needs and keep that in place. That was the plan. So anytime, guys want to do that, it'd be great.
Well, it's like, but somebody else said something that is very valuable that I do believe that we all need to take into consideration, is that the people that would have benefited from a Jasmine Sherman presidency couldn't afford to keep Jasmine Sherman on the ballot, and couldn't afford, because Jasmine was catering directly to a poor population, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that comes with the understanding that you might not meet your financial goals because we're poor. And I just don't know if people, I'll just say what I'm thinking. I don't know if people really want to come to terms with that because they're so disappointed.
No, that's the truth. It's a battle of acceptance and losing it. Definitely losing it.
So, and it's like, I also don't want there to be any resentment. Right. The cost in politics of class of capitalism again. Yeah, because like they tell you, like, you know, you need to be a certain age and you need to not have lived in a different country for a certain amount of time, or you need to be a natural born citizen. But they don't tell you the cost of running for president. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions, to run for president, even if it's just over time and not altogether. Like having volunteered for a third party candidate has taught me a lot. It's like the United States government is an oligarchy because it's pay to play. Yep. The United States government is pay to play. That's why a lot of people run for local rather than president, because if you get one of the two party endorsements, that's most of your expenses right there. Because they do everything for you at that point if you run Democrat or Republican. And then you pay to win too, yeah. And but if you run third party, you have more expenses. And people don't talk about that.
Helios, can I add something in real quick?
Sure.
For those in the comments who aren't aware, it's $300,000 just to pay. I don't need to be on the camera. Just to pay for the ballot access. But once the party has the ballot access, any candidate gets it. So like Donald Trump didn't have to pay to get on ballots. He just was the nominee, like if there's no primary or if you win the primary, but not even every state primaries. Right. Even the Green Party. The Green Party has ballot access for the states that they've paid those filing fees for. So having another party have access to the ballot without having to pay that $300,000 over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, like that is a huge like leg up.
Yeah. And by the way, we are at 18.5K likes. If we can get to 20K likes, that'd be great.
By the way, little tidbit. Jill Stein supporters made it their mission to make sure Jasmine saw none of that support.
Yeah, that's also another thing to talk about. And at the same time, I don't know if that's our story to tell because it was Jasmine who directly experienced it. I would definitely encourage Jasmine to talk about their experiences if they ever felt so inclined. But like, there's really also only so much we can say because we weren't there.
Jasmine
I was there.
Oh, you were there? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll speak for myself. There's only so much I can say about it because I wasn't there. I don't feel as comfortable speaking on it, but the people who were there can speak
I witnessed it. I was on the stage with them when they were on C-SPAN. I was in New York City. I was there.
Stacey, get on the camera. You can get on camera with the topic.
Thank you.
Is it weird? Okay. I wasn't in the room for one specific conversation, but there are news reporters and journalists who picked up stories from multiple candidates who worked within the Green Party, and I think y'all should go look them up in regards to racism that came from the Green Party and the treatment that Black candidates were getting, not only from Jill Stein directly, but from her workers and other people within that party.
Okay. I'll message you on Telegram about that.
Okay.
Because the person that I have been living with ran third party on a local level, and the Green Party has some eyebrow raising stuff. To say the least.
I can't listen to both.
I busted my ass. Actually, we all did. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like, busted our asses. Getting Jasmine on a debate stage with Jill Stein, and then Jasmine destroyed Jill Stein easily. It wasn't even hard. So if the party was like all about the things that they supposedly wanted, there it was right there. You got a candidate that wiped the floor with this person that you're like, I hope they're going to do the things that we want. But for some reason, still felt the need to tell lies about Jasmine, to undermine Jasmine, to use underhanded tactics to remove access, communication, and exposure and support for Jasmine.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, all of this anti-black stuff is wild. And people, they saw the effort that we were putting in and they like tripled the effort against it.
Yeah. This is what the Democrats did to Bernie Sanders.
I was so pissed off.
We've seen it before. What the Democrats did to Bernie Sanders has basically normalized political snubbing.
I want, for those of you who are interested in this kind of stuff, go look at RFK's ballot access. When he dropped out and wanted to support Trump, he had to sue those states to get his name off the ballot, because the only way you can remove it once you get it is if you unalive. And they were suing him because he had the access, and he was suing them to get his access removed. Like, this is a setup. Like, it's fraudulent. It's a scam from the jump. You really need to understand how this ballot access works and why it's set up the way that it is, to discourage anybody but the two-party system. And they make it so hard to get on, and then they make it so hard to get off. It's so weird. But they wanted him on the ballot when it benefited them to split the vote. But then once he endorsed Trump, they didn't want him there because then he could hurt their base. So it's all very... there's a lot of fuckery going on. So go look that up.
So, and also to add, Jasmine had a legitimate chance to have the Green Party nomination. It was a legitimate chance. So if Jasmine gets the nomination, then that means Jasmine's on a majority of the state's ballots, of which at that point, all effort goes towards exposure and communication and, knowledge, right? So there's no way in hell they were going to let Jasmine have that nomination, get that exposure with everyone, and actually have a legitimate shot at being president. Because what happens when Jasmine gets the nomination? Jasmine starts getting promoted by the Green Party as well. Mm-hmm. When Green Party voters get access and knowledge about Jasmine, the word spreads, right?
Maybe Jasmine could have got on the Breakfast Club.
Right?
They would have been the Green Party nom.
That's exactly what would have happened.
We asked the Breakfast Club multiple times, and they said no. Like, they snubbed us. Like, so many places that Jill got to go, Jasmine couldn't go.
Because imagine on all these lives, all of a sudden, the Green Party has a nominee that's right here from TikTok. All the TikToks here are all of a sudden going to be talking about this Green Party candidate that's one of us, that's right from here. So no, the Green Party wasn't going to have it. Jill Stein supporters weren't going to have it. And they showed it. They were proud to show it. All too happy to show it.
And instead, most of the political conversations were just Democrat and Republican the whole time.
Well, hang on. Like, I'm gonna give the Green Party's just due. A lot of people were talking about Jill Stein, like, mostly deprecating, right? Like, don't vote for Jill Stein. What the fuck are you thinking? But Jill Stein's name and the Green Party still got out there. It's like,
exactly,
it's like it works to what y'all were just saying. Mm-hmm. Hey, constantly cooking. It's like they shot themselves in the foot by not letting Jasmine on, but people were still talking about the Green Party. But they were very much talking about it from the context of Jill Stein. We have to dismantle white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalism, colonialism, and all abuse of power directly. I agree with you, Talentless Nugget.
It should have been easy, right? Jasmine didn't support Israel. Jasmine supports universal basic income. Jill Stein did not. Jill Stein was for Israel. All these things. It should be real easy, where you would be like, you know what? Yeah, I should roll with Jasmine, right?
Jasmine's VP also wasn't transphobic openly.
But for some reason, they needed to find every single problem or make up problems with this one black femme-presenting candidate. Mm-hmm. Total coincidence, right?
At the end of the day, the base of their party is like white liberals. And so it's...
Yeah,
it's Democrat light.
we got Vermont. We're
gonna take a pause real quick. Constantly cooking. Hello.
Yeah, what's going on?
It's all good. How old are you?
21.
21. The panel is plus 23 today. You can come back later. All right. UBI is a band-aid, must dismantle capitalism entirely. Sure. I'm not gonna argue with that. All right, we're gonna let that be the huh? Go ahead.
That's a given.
Yeah. But we're gonna let that be the final thoughts. I'm going on 2 hours. Yeah, I'm well into 2 hours. So y'all make rapists and racists afraid again. Get a gun, shoot a Nazi, and I'll see you later. Bye.